like with any survival game, I get the basic tools, and I craft a couple pal spheres. Once I have all that done, I begin my catches. That should be our first one. Now, obviously, none of these early game catches are going to be all that interesting, so let's just blitz through them real quick. Man, fuck you. I'm going to cut in here to talk about something important to the goal of this video. Pal eggs. Now, I could run around and hatch a bunch of eggs or breed for some really rare pals, and I do kind of end up doing that. However, I decided at some point to just not count those for the total. I feel like the RNG of the eggs is fun for a playthrough, but takes away from the challenging aspect of the video. So, for future notice, any pals obtained from cages or eggs will not be counted in the total, unless they're unobtainable in the wild otherwise. You'll see some pals I didn't naturally catch in my party from time to time, but know that those aren't being counted towards the dex total. There's a shiny? Brother, I am like 20 minutes into this game. Oh shit, what do you have? I don't like that. Oh, it's gonna kill me. Holy shit. So is that thing. Stay in the ball. Nice! Stay in the goddamn ball. Found out there's also a scripted event spawn for a bunch of syndicates and an Incineram and a Lease Punk to spawn atop this mountain. Oh my god. Alright, I guess we're doing this. Oh my god! Holy shit! Incineram? Or Kativa beat his ass. Okay, you kinda suck at this. I don't know what you're trying to do. What the fuck? I don't want to risk it yet. Now we gotta try it. 76? Stay in? Stay in? Yo, let's fucking go! Get your dumb ass. 17% catch rate. It's not very good. Oh, 38. That's not bad. Yo? Yo, let's go! We'll try it. Oh? Yo! We have got to find a base location. 30 wood, 12 stone. We're gonna need more stone. What? You kidding me? Bruh! What? No! The fuck? I literally won't even be able to catch it that way. Okay. This how you want to be? Then I'm gonna take a dice roll. There's no way in hell I'm catching that normally. This is how you're gonna be? I will be back for you. Stay in that shit. Yo, bah! Oh no! I punched him out of the map!
What?
I punched him and he went through the mountain! No! Ooh. Oh, run sneakathon. But what happened was, we were playing Palworld, and Weber is like not saying anything, he's on his phone. I'm like reorganizing our base. This dude Weber, out of nowhere, from his mic, I hear the Taco Bell bell sound, and I start laughing a little bit. And he says, "Don't say anything." And then I fucking lost it when he said that. I started crying. He's just like,
so fucking
what happens is, so apparently on the Taco Bell app, when you place an order, it makes that sound. And I started crying, laughing. It was so funny.
Don't say nothing, boy. Don't say nothing.
Holy shit. That was the funniest sound effect they could have come on at any time. So finally, about an hour and a half after starting this world, I finally ended up making a base. And this is a good point in the video to recap all the catches we've made so far. In order, we got Lamball, Chicopee, Cativa, Fox Parks, Pangolin, Gumas, Sela Ray, Vixie, Rushor, Sparkit, Hucrates, Cremis, Depresso, Joltog, Tansy, Incineram, Leespunk, Direhowl, Univolt, Nox, and Thwack. After those big catches, I ended up just doing some base stuff. Also, moving forward, unless it's necessary to mention, I won't really be focusing on anything base related. So I chased around a Liftmunk because the last one I attempted to catch met an unfortunate fate. Oh no! I also chased down an alpaca, and after catching that, I ran down to check out the black market trader and bought a bee guard in preparation for making cakes for breeding. Keep in mind this pal won't be counted towards the total until I catch one in the wild. Once I left his little mine shaft, it was nighttime and I caught a combat and a daydream. Later on, I caught a Caperty and attempted to catch what I will now claim as my favorite pal, Dinossum. Now, one thing to note is that this Dinossum fucked me up. I had to run away. I entered a dungeon at some point and caught a Killamari, and while attempting to catch a Fuddler, I was sealed away behind a wall for all of eternity. But I still caught the Fuddler. After 3 days, I resurrected and returned to the dungeon. At the end of the dungeon, there was a Killamari. Now, this part seemed a bit tricky for me to decide if I wanted to count dungeon bosses as a legitimate catch for the challenge, but since Killamari is already a dungeon exclusive pal, I decided that if I were to catch it, since it's only naturally in dungeons, I would count it. For future references, if the pal is available to catch outside of a dungeon, it won't be counted. I'll be clarifying this when we get to some pals that this applies to. Like right now. As you saw earlier, I caught a Fuddler in the dungeon, but I didn't raise the pal count. This is because although Fuddler spawns often in these early dungeons, it also spawns outside of the dungeons naturally in the deserts. Now, after feeling the wrath of the cephalopod, I had no reason to return to the dungeon, so I ran around, caught a few more pals such as a T-Fant, finally caught a Dinossum, a Kelpsy, and a Woollypop. The second one wouldn't catch, so I clubbed that fucking idiot. Though this isn't being counted towards the total, I ended up finding a Mossanda Lux in a cage, which I didn't know could spawn in those. I also entered another dungeon and caught a Mao, which is the only other exclusive pal in these early level dungeons. After exiting the dungeon, I caught a Toko Toko, then later I caught an Ike Theater Deer, and when I went to go set up a base for metal farming, I caught a Robin Quill and then saved a Floppy from its inevitable demise. I saw a Hellzuffer and I was contemplating catching it. Then in the distance, I spotted a shiny Cinnamoth that was roughly 10 or so levels higher than me. And after just a tiny bit of effort, I thankfully caught it. Oh, 9% catch rate. That's not in Giro. Yo, let's go! Since the Hellzuffer was here, we jumped him and I caught him lacking. 9% catch rate again? Let's go. No shot. 9's my lucky number, baby! I also went out and caught a Bristla and a Galeclaw. Oh, almost forgot. I caught this little guy. What did I say? Stay in that ball, baby. Stay in that ball, baby. Oh, we're crazy! We're gamers! I accidentally murked this bronze cherry because my Nightwing wanted all the smoke for some reason. No! Now, this is one I'm conflicted with in counting. One, because I said I wasn't going to count Cage Pals because they're very RNG based, but two, because with Joltog Christ, all the ways to get them aside from breeding are also RNG based, as it has no natural set spawns. It can only be found during events such as the one I caught my Floppy in. Reason I counted the Floppy was because they also spawn in that same exact biome, so I didn't really think of it as an RNG kind of thing. Unless I have footage of me catching or encountering the random event Joltog in the wild, I will be counting this one, and if there are any other cases such as this, I'll elaborate when the time comes. Anyways, after releasing Sonic, I caught a Vanworm, Montarina, Cognito, Loop Moon, Broncherry, and a Relaxosaurus. Afterwards, I ended up doing a few alpha fights, so I'll play those to the live audio of me fighting them. Alright, that's one boss down.
Experience cycles.
Stop aiming so high up. Stop! Why? It does like no damage at this range. Stop aiming like that. Why? Why is the aim assist dragging it like that? Literally the lowest HP possible. Nice. Thank God. Holy, and we're about to die to fire too, even though we're in water. That is, I mean, thank God he caught it, but God, is that boss is the most annoying one ever because of how glitchy fighting it is. Okay, or kill him. Why did you... God damn it, you're so useless, Daisy. Oh shit. I can do that too, bitch. Check her out. Mine's cooler though, because it landed. You ain't ready for the girl boss I'm about to hit you with. Bah! And, to top it off, see this? Bah! Back shots. I pressed the wrong button. I'm gonna be honest. I tried to pickaxe him, but I forgot since I'm on its back. I'm a silly man. Alright, it looks like I have to catch Bushi and King Paka later. Later on, I accidentally executed a sweepa and caught a few sweet. A serpent, and I redeemed myself and caught a sweepa. Not really sure how that really redeems executing one, but whatever. I also found a shiny Gumas, so that's cool. Then I caught a Digtoys. Ironically enough, after entering a dungeon, I died to a sweepa. So I guess that makes it even. This is a pretty good spot to recap all the catches we've made since the last recap, and in order, we caught Liftmonk, Malpaca, Tombat, Daydream, Capridy, Killamari, Teafant, Dinossum, Kelpsy, Woollypop, Mao, Tokotoko, Ike-Eater Deer, Robinquill, Floppy, Cinnamoth, Hellzephyr, Bristla, Galeclaw, Memorest, Joltog Christ, Vanworm, Matarina, Cognito, Loopmoon, Broncherry, Relaxosaurus, Chillet, Penking, Ezrobe, Swee, Surfent, Sweepa, and Digtoys. For a total of 34 caught since the last recap, and 55 out of 137 pals. Not bad progress, honestly. To start off this new section, I go back and catch Bushi, and then King Paka. I ended up catching an Arsox at some point, and while continuing work on the metal farm, I met with adversity. You get what you deserve, bud. I then went back to some more of the early game areas, and I caught a Ruby, then I encountered Big Monkey. Decided to go take on a few more bosses, starting with Quivern, and afterwards I went for Beacon. Also, Sheep. Next, I ended up going for Elizabeth, which ended in me dying, but after going back, I caught a Beeguard, and then finally in Elizabeth. While trying to farm for more PAL fluids, I also caught a Gobfin. On the way to another boss, I caught a Masanda, and then arrived and started fighting the Verdash. During a short flying expedition, I also saw a Dinossum Lux in a cage, which was a pretty dope find, but it's not being counted towards the total since it is a cage PAL. Then, I caught a Hangyu in a small desert, and also a shiny Loveender, which ended up killing me, so that's the second shiny fail so far. Lovely. However, that luck was not completely wasted, as I found a shiny Flack not long after. After that, I arrived at the Broncherry Aqua boss, or Aqua Broncherry boss. I think it's the second one. And soon after, I took on Lunaris. Continuing the theme of bosses, I caught a Catras, Grintail, and I ran out of spheres, so I dealt with the Masanda Lux. After wrapping up those, I head to the first sanctuary to catch some more of the rare pals. This includes Ike-Eater Deer Terra, Patalia, and I even get really lucky and find a Grisbolt pretty early on. Next, I caught a Veilet, and then I found another Grisbolt, and I caught it this time. And that wraps up all the catches I needed for the first sanctuary. Returning back to some of the bosses I failed to capture, I go back and catch Relaxosaurus Lux and Masanda Lux. Before we continue, I want to recap this section since this seems like a pretty sweet spot to get into before we go into a bunch more of the captures. In order, we got Bushi, King Paka, Arsox, Ruby, Quivern, Beacon, Beeguard, Elizabeth, Gobfin, Masanda, Verdash, Hangyu, Aqua Broncherry, Lunaris, Catras, Grintail, Ike-Eater Deer Terra, Patalia, Veilet, Grisbolt, Relaxosaurus Lux, and Masanda Lux. This brings the total up to 77 out of 137 pals. To pick back up on some catches, I headed towards the volcano island in the southwestern part of the map, and while flying around, I caught a Reptiro, a Kelpsie Ignis, and a Wixen. Around the beach, I ended up catching a Ragnahawk, Blaze Howl Noct, and a Pyron Noct, and after even more flying around and it becoming daytime again, I caught a Flambell, and then spent around 40 to 50 Pal Spheres to catch a normal Pyron. Leaving the volcano for now, I head to a small ice mountain near the center of the map, and I catch a Foxicle, and for the first time in a while, I struggled against a boss. Ragnahawk, fuck her up. Yeah, Ragnahawk can tank like all of this, we're fine. I gotta worry about myself dodging. That's gonna kill me if I let me hit. Oh my god. That's gonna kill me. No, Ragnahawk, I'm sorry. He was tanking it for a bit, but I think he was just stuck in the corner. Anubis? Oh, for some reason he's bugged out. Fuck. Anubis, fuck her up. Yo. It's a 1% catch rate, but I gotta keep her out of battle for a bit. Okay, never mind. We're goated. I did end up catching the Cybelix, and afterwards I tried to catch a Reindeerix, which decided that burning to death was a much better alternative. Oh, and I also ended up finding some footage of me catching a wild Joltog Christ during the little random event I said could happen. So now the cage one isn't really a technicality anymore, so yeah. Right after that, I caught a much less stubborn Reindeerix, and since I was there for so long, it became night, which caused Kitsunes to spawn, and I ended up catching one of those. This is actually the only area to catch Kitsune, and it's one of my favorite pals alongside Dinossum. Next, I returned back to Volcano Island, and unironically was about to say Manor, which is indicative of how much Elden Ring has plagued me recently. Anyways, I catch a Blaze Howl Noct after exercising my Second Amendment right on it. And I continue to exercise that right to capture a Leespunk Ignis, and I pushed my luck and flew too close to, well, an Astagon. It killed me if you didn't understand that. I then accidentally loaded one too many shots into a Godfin Ignis that I was trying to catch. But I found another one and I was a little less trigger happy against this one. I then went to the northernmost icy mountains to catch a Mao Christ. I ended up catching a Wumpo and a Mamorax Christ deeper in that same mountain. I finished my catches in these mountains with the Cryolinks. That doesn't mean there's no more catches in this mountain, it just means that it's time for more Whiplash. I head to the desert east of the mountains and catch a Dinossum Lux and a Rayhound. After some more flying around like usual, I catch a Suzaku, a Robin Quiltera, and then I executed a Stubborn Daisy and adopted a different one later. I also caught a Serpentera and ran into probably the craziest shouting encounter ever. It was level 50, while it was only around 36 or so it took a while to whittle down. And on top of that, the game was working against me. No! Wait. But that would not stop my absolute genius. I flew up and down to try and glitch the floor again so I could clip through and catch the shiny. This might be God's blessing on this accursed world. I did end up catching it due to the damage it took from clipping through the ground. Stay! Yes! And the luckiest part of this honestly was just that the Hangyu didn't die from the fall damage. After that insane encounter, I decided to go do more bosses and caught Wumpo Baton pretty easily. Then completely effortlessly, got insanely lucky again, and caught Menacing in a single backshot. Take that as you will. Now it was time for Sanctuary 3. These were about half an hour of catches, many of which took forever to actually show up to catch. Starting off with Lylene and Astagon, which very strangely did not give me a catch indicator, so I checked my Paldex and it didn't even count. Even though I did catch it, I'm still going to count it if the Paldex won't. Following up these catches, we got Shadowbeak. Wow. Phalaris? Yeah! Alright. Now God damn it. Orzerk? Oh, thank God this wasn't a complete waste. For my own mental health, I'm going to continue to do some more bosses. Starting off with Warsect, and then... Oh no. We're going back to the Sanctuary? Let's start off with a good catch, please. Alright, we managed to get a Blazemut and a Shadowbeak. That's it, but I think that's all I need from here. At least for now. And after that, I head to the second Sanctuary, which thankfully isn't as bad as I only caught Yormortide Ignis. With that, I think this is a pretty good spot to start a recap. In order, we have Reptiro, Kelpsie Ignis, Wixen, Ragnahawk, Blazehowl Noct, Pyron Noct, Flambell, Pyron, Foxicle, Raindrix, Kitsune, Blazehowl, Leespunk Ignis, Gopfin Ignis, Malchrist, Wumpo, Mammorest Crist, Cryolinx, Dinossum Lux, Rayhound, Suzaku, Robin Quilterra, Daisy, Serpent Terra, Wumpo Baton, Menasting, Lylene, Astagon, Valeris, Orzerk, Warsect, Blazemunt, Shadowbeak, Yormantide Ignis, and that brings our total from 77 all the way to 111 out of 137. If I counted right. If not, this is going to be a lot more editing. Starting off this new section once again, I return to Sanctuary 2 and catch Incineram Noct, since I completely forgot about it earlier. Then I go back to the Ice Mountains and catch King Paka Crist. And after catching it, I find a Suzaku Aqua in the dungeon. This one is being counted as it is unable to be found in the wild otherwise. I decided to take on another boss and took on Yormantide, which was actually a pretty big struggle. Returning once again to the Ice Mountains, I catch Hangyu Crist, Vanworm Crist, died to a Reptiro Crist, and then returned and caught one in the same dungeon. Once again, dungeon exclusive pal, so it's being counted. Before returning to base, I end up fighting and catching Lylene Noct. Upon returning to base, I hatched Nulphydron Aqua, which is one of the only two pals that I needed to breed for, as unlike any of the others that can be found in dungeons or caves, I couldn't find this one anywhere really. Finally, I decided it's time to take on one of the legendary pals. So I head over and have an amazing fight with Frostallion before, well, dying. But it's all good since I decided fighting wasn't worth it, so I resorted to hit and run tactics.
Oh, we're crazy!
Now that I caught Frostallion, I can breed with Hellzephyr to get Frostallion Noct. Frostallion also allows me for a perfect opportunity for a domino effect of battles. With it, I can take on Jetragon with a big type advantage. Alright, Frostallion, go that way and fuck him up. Oh, fuck, I thought I dodged that. Oh my god. Frostallion, my goat. Actually, you're a horse. But still. Take the damage, you fool. Understand that this fight is not mine alone. This is a sick fight, I'm not gonna lie. As rough as it is. YOLO ball. Fuck it, we ball, baby. Oh. Let's go, baby. Whew. And now with those two on my team now, I figured the last two would be a breeze. And they were. I managed to single out Necromus and only aggro him, which was surprising since normally Palladius immediately aggroes too. Jetragon kind of popping off. Yes. Yes. Fight. Win. Come on. Stay. Let's go, baby. After catching Necromus, the initial plan was to use it against Palladius for the type advantage, just like I did the Jetragon against it for the type advantage. But I forgot to be low HP, and I forgot to put space in my party, so that didn't work out. But with the same team I used on Necromus, I managed to catch Palladius. Wait a second, now attack. Come on. There you go. We did it. And these two were the easiest just because I managed to fight them one-on-one, and they had less HP than the other legendaries. With these all caught, my Pal Dex is done. Or it should be. However, apparently not. Since I believe I lost some files or something, so I'm missing a few catches, or footage of them at least. But I'll get to that in a little bit. In order, we got Incineram Noct, King Paka Crist, Suzaku Aqua, Yormantide, Hangyu Crist, Vanworm Crist, Reptiro Crist, Lylene Noct, Nulphydron Aqua, Frostallion, Frostallion Noct, Jetragon, Necromus, Palladius. Actually, that's it. This brings our total to 125 out of 137 pals. But is 137 actually the number? Not anymore. It's actually 139 now, since they added Belle Noire and its variant to the game a while back. So we'll get to the rest of those next. Actually, quick additional pal is Cyberlex. I completely forgot to count it because, well, I just forgot. So the total is actually up to 126 pals. Alrighty, so it's time to clean up all the last few catches. or at least re-recorded them because I have no footage of me catching them apparently. And if I do have the footage, then I just completely missed it. Since I don't feel like looking for a wild one, I head over to catch the boss Nightwing, and while in the area, I also catch the Absol wannabe that I completely forgot the name of. Then I head back over to where Masanda Lux was, and I catch a Rib Bunny, and to the island just north of here, I catch a Gory Rat. Then I head to the Ice Mountain to catch a Wraith during the nighttime. Next I do some more bosses such as Elphydrin, and then the boss Fenglope while I'm in the area. Now we can wrap up our catches in the desert, which include Fuddler, Dumud, and Lovander once it becomes nighttime again. And the final catch of the original 137 pals is Anubis. All that's left for me to do now is Bella Noir and Bella Noir Libero. To encounter Bella Noir, all you have to do is go through some dungeons, select 4 slab fragments, and craft the slab with them. We do the same for Bella Noir Libero, but in the higher level dungeons. To be honest, these raids are genuinely difficult. The normal Bella Noir is difficult but manageable still. Bella Noir Libero, however, required a lot of firepower. And by firepower, I mean I had to change my settings, which I will say, only time I've had to just because I want this video to come out sometime soon, and I don't want to spend hours and days grinding even more in order to get a proper setup to beat Bella Noir Libero. So I guess this isn't completely legit? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. Now, when you defeat these bosses, you don't actually catch them, and instead you're given an egg with the boss you defeated inside of it, which is actually something I called would happen in one of my videos in the past. Now for the final recap of the entire video. Nightwing, Felbat, Ribbunny, Gory Rat, Wraith, Elphydrin, Fenglope, Fuddler, Dumud, Lovander, Anubis. Oops, let me swap to the updated graph. There you go. Bella Noir, and Bella Noir Libero. And with that, we have all 139 pals in a single Palworld save. This was a ton of fun, and I apologize for this video taking too long to be made. By now, Palworld really isn't hype, but it's still something I wanted to make a video on, because I really love the game. And as much fun as this video was, it was also an insane amount of work, and really hard to manage. And I'm kinda glad to be done with it. Especially since now I have every single pal in... Oh, notification. There's more?